Hello YouTube! Today on the Naughty Librarian, I am going over my December TBR list. There's a lot of pressure in this TBR list because this is the last month of 2020. What do I want to finish the year with? Like, it's a lot of pressure, honestly. I think I have a good smattering of books that are all different genres and things that I just know I need to finish in 2020. I'm excited. I don't know, let's just get into it. You guys can decide if it's exciting or not. First things first, I'm just gonna treat myself with On the Edge by Ilona Andrews. This is a different series from Ilona Andrews that I have not started yet. And the thing is, I already know I love Ilona Andrews. Like, I'm probably gonna love this. And by probably, I mean definitely, I'm going to love it. Like, it'd be very difficult to mess it up. I can't think of a fathomable reason I wouldn't like the book. So it's just like a treat. And it's going to be like urban fantasy, and I think it's like this world where there's like a normal world, there's a magic world, and then there's this edge in between it. And we're following Rose. She is a girl lives on the edge, hence the name of the book. And basically she can go back and forth between magic world and normal world and doesn't really belong to either. There's some stuff going on. She's trying to get by. Enter Declan. He's a prince of Magic Land, and then like things are gonna go down between them. And I'm sure they're going to maybe be more enemies to lovers, I would say, probably. That's usually how it works out for Ilona Andrews books. I don't know. It's always a fun fantasy series. It's just gonna be a treat myself book. I'm feeling risky about One Dance with the Duke by Tessa Dare. And here's the thing. Okay, you all know I love Tessa Dare. I stand Tessa Dare. We're good. However, some of the earlier Tessa Dare books are rough. They're not great. This is an early series, so I'm wondering if I'm going to like it. Honestly, the blurb sounds ridiculous, but it's that kind of ridiculous that you're just like, it might be good because it is ridiculous. I'm not sure. It's already silly. Like, let me just tell you here. So there's this guy. His name's Spencer, and he's the Duke of Moreland, all right? And he's a member of Stud Club, and it's a very exclusive organization. There's only like 10 members. And then like he is like doing his thing, and he raises horses, and he has his reputation as the Duke of Midnight. Already, it's ridiculous. And every evening, he selects one lady for a breathtaking midnight waltz. What is happening? Oh my goodness gracious. He's just like ridiculous. Oh, look at me. I raise thoroughbred horses, and I'm a duke, and I have this reputation as the Duke of Midnight, and I take ladies dancing at midnight for reasons, and it's ridiculous. And then, like, I guess one of the midnight dance ladies is Lady Amelia d'Orsay, and she's an unconventional beauty, and she claims the Duke's dance and unwittingly steals his heart. Fingers crossed this is enjoyable, but like I'm kind of into how ridiculous it sounds. Who knows? Fingers crossed. I'm gonna like this. I don't know. I wanted to do something Christmassy, a little holiday related for the season, and I figured, hey, let's go for another Tessa Dare book. Why not? This is How the Duke Stole Christmas. This is a novella anthology. So there's a novella by Tessa Dare, Sarah McLean, Sophie Jordan, and Joanna Shoup. And I like it. It's just gonna be like little fun, like holiday historical romances. I'm into it. And I've read Tessa Dare and Sarah McLean before, but I have not read Sophie Jordan or Joanna Shoup. So I am excited to try some new authors, and I'm not really gonna get into what these are about. They're little Christmas historical romances. There you go. Like, I just want to do it so I can feel festive and like Christmassy for the season. Speaking of festive and Christmassy, this is the book of the month for the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club, and we are reading In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. The live show for this is going to be on my channel the Saturday after Christmas, which I think is the 26th, so like right after Christmas. I'll of course let you know if that changes, but right now that is when the live show is set for. Same time, same place, 11 a.m. on the channel. And this book in particular, I am fascinated by it because if it's done well, it's gonna be awesome. Basic gist here is that it's like the movie Groundhog Day, you know, like that, but Christmas. So we're following this woman named Malin, and she is, you know, having her own holiday dilemmas, and she makes this wish that she wants to find out what will make her happy. And then she gets murdered. She just dies in a horrible accident. Wakes up and she's back to the same start of the same day again. So, you know, rinse, wash, repeat over and over. The same day she dies gruesomely, wakes up again to do it all over. So it could be really fun, considering this is also a rom-com. So fingers crossed this is going to be cool, because it combines Christmas, gruesome murders or deaths, and then also rom-com stuff. If the recipe for something awesome, if it all works out together. Hopefully it will. But yes, this is the book of the month for the Blades and Bodies Rippers Book Club. Hope you can read it with us and join us for the live show. It's going to be a lot of fun. One more romance. I'm just doing all the romances first. Why not? I have Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. This is the most recent book in the Bromance Book Club series, which I happen to really, really like. The basic gist for the series is that there's this group of dudes who all read romance novels so they can better understand the women in their lives and have more successful relationships. And they're called the Bromance Book Club. And it's a really interesting dynamic because there's no toxic masculinity in this series. These are all dudes who are just like, yeah, we're gonna read romance novels. We want to get better at relationships. So, and they all like support each other, and it just has a lot of like really good like character building. And then this is book 3. And it's a new addition to the Bromance Book Club. It's this guy, Noah, who we met in the last book, and he's like a computer genius hacker kind of guy. And he's had a long-standing crush on this woman named Alexis, who we also met in the last book. And Alexis, you guys, Alexis owns a cat cafe called Toe Beans, and she has a cat named Beefcake. What? Just tell me that and I already want to read the book. But yeah, they have, I don't know, he has a long-standing crush. He wants to go from friends to more, doesn't know how to broach the subject. Enter the Bromance Book Club to save the day. And I am so into it. I mean, he's gonna have a cute cat. I've liked the other 2 books of the series. I have high hopes for this one. It's gonna be a fun, jaunty rom-com. Completely leaving the sphere of jaunty rom-coms, I have The Spider by Leo Carew. This is the sequel to The Wolf. I read The Wolf at the very beginning of this year, so I figured, hey, I started the year with it, I'm gonna end the year with it as well. Basic gist of this series, so I'm just reading sequels this month, it seems like. There's a north and a south, and they're at war with each other, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's fantasy, I don't know, it's somewhat fantasy, but it's also maybe kind of speculative fiction. Basically, the Northerners are as if Neanderthals didn't die out. So they still exist, and they have formed their own society, and they're intelligent, they've evolved, but they're still Neanderthals. So they're kind of a different species from the humans who are in the South. So it's like, what if our evolutionary tree branched in a different direction? And they're at war with each other. There's a lot of like, Game of Thrones-esque political intrigue, and like, who's doing what and who's lying to who, and then like, I don't know, all kinds of stuff right there. And the spider, there's this character who's like, you should not cross this character because he's gonna mess up your life. And then he got crossed at the end of book 1. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna do some shit. So things are about to go very awry in this world. They had a big war in the first book. And then the loser of the war is off licking their wounds, trying to think about how to come back and fight again. And yeah, I don't know, I'm into it. It's kind of a cool literary world. I don't know, I like it. So it's gonna be fun. Things are gonna go crazy. It's gonna be a good time. I am also going to read Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I have been wanting to read this for so long. Like, I don't know why I haven't read it yet. This is the arc, and I still haven't read it because I'm a monster. But then part of me was just like, okay, I'm gonna wait, because last December, I read Gideon the Ninth, which is the first book of this series. This is the sequel. Let me read in December. It's gonna come full circle, This is gonna be my December read. And I'll just read you this big blurb right here, which is, the necromancers are back and they're gayer than ever. So it's about lesbian necromancers in space. That should tell you everything you need to know about this series. And I absolutely loved it. I loved Gideon so much in the first book, but a lot of shit went down at the end of Gideon. So now we're following Harrow and what's going to happen there. And Harrow isn't necessarily the most fun character, but I am fascinated. There are some areas where this could go into very silly times. I don't know. I'm into this. I loved Gideon the Ninth so much. I definitely want to read this one. And I'm like, okay, full circle. Both December books. Why not? I'm also going to read Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. I just want to do it, you know? Why not? It just came out. I'm just going to read it right away. No waiting. Why not? I mean, this is the sequel to Ready Player 1. It's been a book for a long time. It's also a movie. The plot is out there. And this is the sequel to it. And I don't really know what happens in it. I just saw that it was going to be released and I pre-ordered it. Didn't even read the blurb. Didn't need to. It's just basically the end of Ready Player 1. Mind you, this is a book and a movie already. The plot is out there. We have this kid, Wade Watts. He basically won a video game and now he controls the whole empire of the video game, like in real life. And like, when you think about that for a hot second, that is a hot mess of a situation. He's a kid who has never run a company in his life and now all of a sudden he owns a company because he won a video game. What is happening? So I think there's a lot of fertile ground for more storytelling to happen going forward. And I didn't even need to read the blurb. I still haven't read the blurb to this day. I just knew I was going to get it because I loved Ready Player 1 a lot. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Who knows? But yeah, the ending of that book is really a hot mess when you think about it. So I'm excited that there's going to be more to the story. I'm going to read Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Like, it's happening, okay? Like, I can't let this fester into 2021. Like, I don't want it to wait. I want to just get it over with in this year. That's, like, sounding terrible. Like, I am kind of excited to read it. Like, you know, no tea or shade to Twilight. I really liked Twilight when it was coming out. I remember I went to, like, the midnight release for book 4. Like, I was really into Twilight. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's an international mega success for a reason. So, yeah, you know, fuck it. I like Twilight, okay? Whatever. And then this is the long, you know, myth of a book that Stephanie Meyer never put out. And then she's finally like, you know what? I'm going to save 2020 and put it out. So here we go. Midnight Sun. It's basically Twilight, but from Edward's perspective instead of Bella's. And I don't know how it's going to translate. Because the thing about Bella is that she's a bit of an every woman, kind of. I mean, she is, yeah, she's a little bit of a Mary Sue, but whatever. She's a teenage girl. Like, you can't expect them to not be naive about things. And Edward is 90 years old and a vampire. And he spends almost all of his time just being a brooding mess of a human or vampire person thing. So it's just like, do I want to read a whole book, which is like twice as long as Twilight, in the perspective of a moody vampire? And part of me is just like, yes, I do. And the other part of me going, oh no, this is going to be awful. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I think it's going to be a combination of both. Like, I think it's going to be awful, but I'll love it anyway. I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm going to read it, okay? It's 2020. It's going to get over with in 2020. It's not lingering into 2021. Last up, I'm going to read Dune by Frank Herbert. This is a iconic sci-fi book I have put off for many years. I just didn't want to read it. I saw the 80s movie and hated it, and like it really soured me to the book. And also sometimes I just have issues with like iconic stories because I expect too much from them. You know what I mean? And then like everyone loves it and it's such an iconic story that when I read it, I'm like, it was all right. You know, like I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. But I mean, it's iconic. There's a new movie adaptation coming out that looks sick. So I want to read it. I want to see what the hype is about. Like I have a basic idea of what it's about just from seeing the movie. You know, there's Paul Atreides and he's trying to save his family and he's kind of basically much like a Dark Last Prince kind of thing. And then there's spice and a worm. As you can see, I don't remember much of the movie, but I remember certain things. There's that. I mean, if worse comes to worse, at least this book is highly aesthetically pleasing. It is like the special edition. It's pretty. So at least it's got that going for it. If I don't like it, at least it's pretty. All right, so that is the official list for December 2020. It was hard narrowing it down. Like, these are the books I want to end 2020 with. It's a lot of responsibility to pick the right ones. Let me know in the comments down below. What's a book you have to read it before 2020 is over? Like, what's that book for you? You need to do it. Or what's like a holiday related book you were going to be reading this year just to be festive? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you guys soon. Bye!